Hey guys, welcome to Rosie's Dessert Spot. In this tutorial I'll be demonstrating how to create these royal icing cookies. This is actually a video recipe for royal icing, so I've got my pasteurized egg whites, pinch of salt and my icing sugar in a standing mixer with a whisk attachment. Blend that through on low to medium speed. Let that go for about 10 minutes. It's nice and fluffy, it's glossy and it's thick, and that's when you know it's ready. Kind of like the consistency of toothpaste, if you will. Just like so. And the ingredient amounts and recipe is in the description box below. I'm popping it into a plate covered with Glad wrap, making sure the Glad wrap touches the icing, just to make sure that no crust can develop. You could also put a damp towel over the top instead. In the meantime, I'll make my cookies. This is the lemon shortbread recipe that I created a couple of weeks ago. The link to this recipe is in the description box below. Cut out your desired shape, pop it onto a tray lined with baking paper and into the freezer for a good 10 minutes before you pop it in the oven. This is baking at 180 degrees for 12 minutes or until golden. Now that my cookies are cooling, I'm adding some royal icing into a container and slowly adding in a few drops of water at a time, and stirring that through until I get the consistency that I want. If you guys are enjoying this tutorial, do feel free to join me in the live stream sessions where I teach you guys cake decorating live together. This is a consistency that you're looking for flooded icing, so it's dripping off your spoon in long thin strands, and when you give it a shake it disappears completely, so you can't see the lines that have fallen into the little plate. So once flooding consistency is reached, pop it into your different containers and add in your gel food colors. You could use powder as well. Liquid food color will make it a little bit too runny, so try to use gel where you can. This is the icing that I'm using for the border, so it's much thicker than your flooding consistency, as you can see here. It'll still fall off your spoon in strands, but they'll be much thicker. Touch the piping tip to your cookie, lift your piping tip, and gently push out your royal icing. Notice how I'm always working about 1 centimeter above the cookie. This gives you the straightest lines and the most control. Then when you're done, touch it back down to the cookie. Alternatively, you could just go straight onto your cookie and pipe directly on there, as you would with buttercream. The downside to this is that you can clearly see where one starts and begins. Allow that to dry for a few hours and then you can go in with your flooding consistency royal icing. I'm just adding my colors in random spots. This was electric pink, I believe, turquoise and yellow in the royal ice in Americolor gel colors. Sorry, terracotta, not yellow. Once you're done filling your cookie, give it a bit of a shake to settle the colors, and with a pin, just circular motions until the royal icing reaches the very edge of the cookie and you don't have any pockets of air. So giving it a tap on the counter and a shake to settle the colors. And then for added effect, just adding dots here and there. Using a pin, circular motions to create a cool pattern on your cookie. Just like so, and allow your cookies to rest at least 4 to 6 hours or overnight if you can, and that will be ample time for your royal icing to set completely. This is another method, so I'm just doing lines of color around the border of the cookie. Give it a shake to settle it off, and a bit of a circular dance there with a pin or a sculpting tool until it reaches the edge. here's a different effect using the same technique. And last but not least, we have the fun pattern with the straight colours. And now this one's just going up and down rather than circular, and you can see the awesome kind of pattern that creates here. And that is how you create pretty little royal icing cookies. I really hope you guys feel confident enough to give it a go. There's a bit of playing around with the recipe, not the recipe, with the water in the recipe to get it to the right consistency, but you'll catch on pretty quickly. But yes, if you make them, please send me your photos. Would love to see how your little ones come out as well. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll catch you again next week.